went down to New York town.
Every day, nothing but sea everywhere you look. Well, sometimes you see a big ship, but not very often. Who would have thought that going best part of 1,000 miles north would make it so much colder? Suddenly I'm wearing boots, I've got my cardigan on and it's zipped up, I've got a jacket on and a hat, and that's okay. Last night in the dark the wind backed round quite a lot from northwest to kind of west. So because the wind vane steering follows the wind rather than the magnetic course, we were started to head wildly north of where we wanted to go. So I got up and I put away the Genoa because I didn't want to go up messing around on the deck in the dark and with quite a reasonable ocean swell running. And then this morning I got up, sorted it all out, got us aiming in the right direction, which is about 80 degrees magnetic, and got the Genoa out, pulled it out, got it goose wing, got everything absolutely lovely, beautifully set up, and a huge great squall came up instantly, the moment literally that I'd got everything right. And so quickly rode away the Genoa again, went downstairs until it stopped raining, and then after it settled down I came back up and look, there we are, we're back on a northwest wind, and we're on a port tack, both the sails are out, the Genoa is now pulled out on the starboard side, and we're making 4.5 knots in the right direction. So yeah, that was a lot of exercise first thing in the morning. Late July, about day 14 of the trip back to the UK from the Azores, and today it's really, from a sailing point of view, it's perfect weather. We've got about 14-15 knots of wind on the beam, we've got all the sail up, and the sea is not too bad today, so we're cracking along making the best progress we can, which is about, well, between 5 and 6 knots. Unfortunately, I don't think this weather's going to hold all the way home, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for now and hope it lasts as long as possible, because we are now eating up some miles. Sunday morning, the 28th of July. I know that because I just looked it up. It's another day of high pressure, and the wind is indicating 8 knots, but it doesn't feel as if we're going very fast. I've done everything I can to trim the sails and everything's flying out perfectly, and we're doing 2.5 knots. Well, that's not very fast, is it? But never mind, 2.5 knots is 60 miles a day. So at this rate, with only 400 miles left to go home, I should be home in another week. So that'll make this a 3-week trip. Of course, it might be a bit quicker than that if the wind picks up a little bit between now and then. So, but not today, I don't think. I've got here a quite a good weather facts of today's weather. I don't know if you can see it. Actually, I think I'll just take it below and then you can see it better. So here we have the weather facts chart for midday today, and I'm now in sea area Seoul, which means that here, I don't know if you can make out on this map, that here is England, Scotland, Ireland, and This is the Bay of Biscay and Spain down there. So I'm presently here, which is 49 degrees north and 12 degrees west, and I'm right on the edge of this high pressure area here. In fact, it's all a high pressure area all around here, so the gap between the lines here is very great, which means the wind is very light. So I mean, that's it really for today. I think it's going to be a quiet day, so I shall make the most of it and take it easy. It is a Sunday after all. Look, little puffy clouds coming up. That is good news to me, because very often this means that there might be a little bit of a breeze coming. This is just what we need, and in fact we are moving a bit quicker. We've now got, oh, what have we got here? Can you see that? I don't know. Yeah, you can mostly see my reflection, can't you? However, we're doing about, well, I don't know, 6 knots of wind, 7, 8, 9 knots of wind, thereabouts, and we're managing to do 3 knots over the ground. So that's up half a knot already from half an hour ago, and we're keeping our course here around, oh, is it? Well, it's showing 60. Well, it's veers around a bit, because between 60 and 70 magnetic, which is exactly where we want to go. Hooray! So maybe it's not going to be quite such a dud day after all. Sails doing their best. Last Sunday in July, and I've just been getting the weather faxes for the next 4 days, and it's quite hard not to get depressed really. So I've been stuck in this high now for a week, and as you can hear, the sails are slatting as we've discussed, because we've got 3 knots of wind and we're travelling at less than 2 knots through the water. So I was looking at the weather faxes and hoping for some better news later on in the week, but my information is now going out to Thursday, and up to and including Thursday there is no wind, really no wind, and what there is coming towards me on the nose. So as I say, sometimes it's hard to keep cheerful. But there you are. The nice thing is that when the sea state finally matches the wind state and the sea becomes really calm like it is this morning, that the slatting of the sails all stops. And even though we only have 3 knots of wind, the mast is not moving around and making the sail think that the wind's coming from all sorts of different directions. So here we are on a serenely smooth and peaceful sea in the Atlantic Ocean, about 300 miles from the Bristol Channel, and it's really very peaceful. Oh. You know what, it hasn't done that all night, and suddenly... Shh, I'm trying to film. Thank you. It's Tuesday the 30th of July, and we're now well into the week 3 of this wonderful trip from the Azores home. And it's turned out to be a lot longer than I thought it would be, because we've been trapped in this high. Last night the wind stopped altogether, so eventually I went out and decided to pack away the mainsail, which was clattering around. So I'd done all that, and then I went below, and within 5 minutes the wind picked up again nice and strong. So now I know what to do when the wind drops. Just put away the mainsail and the wind will return. So here I've been looking at my, last night I looked at my weather fax, and the Friday weather fax shows something rather interesting. It shows a nice big low. Not usually one talks about a low as being nice, but there we are. There's a change, isn't it? A nice big low coming from the west, and it's going to kick the high that's been dominating this weather and keeping me from making any progress for the last 2 weeks. It's going to kick it out towards Denmark and Scandinavia. So I'm expecting, got my fingers crossed, for some good steady or even strong and hopefully not gale force winds on Friday and Saturday to take me up the Bristol Channel and back home. So that is the hope. The hope. Well, as the daylight part of Tuesday draws to a close, we've now got some wind. Suddenly this afternoon wind came up from hardly anywhere, and nice fresh breeze about 12 or 15 knots. What's not to like? Well, the only thing not to like is that it's coming straight towards us, straight from where we want to go. So we can't go where we want to go. We can't head for the Scillies, which we don't want to go to, but it's alright, it's better than standing still at the moment. And I'm hoping that the wind will back round and allow us to take a bit more of a northeasterly course sometime, well, hopefully in the next few hours. Otherwise we shall be in the Scillies. Nice though they are, I don't think I've got time for them. It's breakfast time on the last day in July, and although we're running quite short of supplies, we can still find a pretty decent meal to put together. I am looking forward to this very much. So yeah, let's get it while it's hot. It's the end of the last day in July. We're now really entering into the Bristol Channel proper, and it's just going dark. Talk about stating the obvious, eh? The wind was forecast to back around and finally get out of the way, really. So the last 24 hours I've been trying to dodge the wind, which has been pointing straight towards me. So we've been tacking and ducking and weaving. But now the wind's come round onto a beam reach over there somewhere, and we're cracking along nicely on the course that we want, which is taking us up the Bristol Channel to the corner inside Lundy Island, and I think we'll get there tomorrow night. I think Lundy tomorrow evening. So here we are. Definitely moving out of the proper Atlantic and into the Irish Sea and the Bristol Channel. Can't see land yet. Land's still about 70 miles away in any direction, so we're not exactly too shallow yet. Morning Bristol Channel. It's about 6 o'clock, 1st of August, and lovely smooth sea this morning. 15 knots of wind. I had a couple of reefs overnight just in case the forecast did say that there might be possibly gusts of 4 6, but I don't think they materialised. But anyway, I put a reef in, 2 reefs in, and rolled up a bit of Genoa, and they've all gone now, and we're making a nice progress through the very early morning in the Bristol Channel. That's the Devon coast, and over there that's Ilfracombe, and obviously I'm now in the Bristol Channel and heading up towards Cardiff, and as I'm sure you can hear, the motor is running, and the reason for that is that the wind, which I keep getting promised wind, every time I look at a forecast, anybody's forecast, it says, oh yes, there's a strong wind, small craft warning, you're getting a 4 6. Well, I've got 4 knots of wind, which is no good at all. So in the interest of getting to Cardiff today, I've put on the engine, and let's just hope that the thing keeps running. I'm never very confident in mechanical marvels. So I'm going to keep plodding up with this racket going on all day long, and I hope to get to Cardiff late this afternoon. We shall see. I've got a sailor doing its usual thing. The sailors seem to think that's what they're for. Never mind. Onwards and onwards. And as we pass up the Bristol Channel, not far from Cardiff now, the tide's giving us a nice big help. The wind's helping a bit too, and the motor's on. And just over there, I don't think you can see it, but that's Barry Island with its fun fair going round, everybody having a great time hopefully. And we just have to go up there past that point, turn left hand down a bit, and we'll be in Cardiff. So there we are, peaceful enough end to this little, well, more of an epic voyage really, isn't it? So here we are back in Cardiff, and goodness me, what's this tiny little boat? Has someone actually sailed all the way to the Azores and back in this? How extraordinary. Well, there she is, safe and sound.
Are you New York girls, can't you dance the polka?